What's going on, everyone? TM24 here, and we are back with some more Marvel Snap content. Now, today, I wanted to share with you guys all the combo decks that I've been playing with Wong. You should be seeing them in some of my shorts if you've been watching those, but typically, after I hit Infinite, I love to kind of mess around and try and pull off some pretty cool combos, and Wong is kind of the staple of most of those combos. So I'm going to go through kind of the decks that I build, kind of the core double combos, single combos, and optimal lines of play. But before we do, I just want y'all to take a quick look at this for a moment. As you can see, most of the views that are coming to my channel are from people that are not subscribed. So if you got a quick moment, go hit that subscribe button, as it really does help me out. But for now, let's talk about these Wong combos. All right, so first up, it comes to building the deck. Now, when you're building a combo deck built around Wong, I think there's a pretty standard core, and then there are some cards that are interchangeable depending on if you're trying to play one that has multiple combos, double combos, or ones that have a single combo. So I'll kind of go through. I'm going to build this deck. I'll go Wong combo decks, combo. And we're going to go through, and I'm going to put the cards in there that I put in when I am typically making my deck. So starting off, typically there's not any one drops. Most of the time when you're trying to get this combo, you need your pieces to do something very specific. So typically each card has a purpose. So first card that's actually going to go in is going to be Psylocke. I think it's pretty obvious why. She gives you that extra energy, and that can be huge. So Psylocke gets the first spot there. Next up, we have another fairly, simple inclusion, one that definitely makes a whole lot of sense, and it's Zabu. Zabu, you have 4 cost cards, cost 1 less. That's great. We're playing with Wong, so he is going to help us there. So right now, we're working our way through the core of it. And our next piece of the core is actually a 3-drop, and it's Wave. So Wave, again, she allows you to cheat out big cards. Now, I know this may look a little bit funny. Turning cards to 4 costs. Typically, you want to save energy. This is allowing us to play only 1 card, but you'll kind of see where I'm going here in a moment. So, in terms of the core, obviously, next up, we've got to add Wong himself. He's going to be, the card that we're trying to build this combo around. We have a couple more cards to go. Next one being Magic. Changing it to have an extra turn is great, as it allows you to draw more cards. You're more likely to hit your combo pieces. So Magic is awesome. And then another really simple inclusion here in a 5-drop is Sarah. So again, your cards are becoming cheaper. She allows you to actually be able to pull off these combos. So Sarah is a definite inclusion. And we've got 2 more pieces that I consider core to pretty much any Wong combo deck, and they're both 6-drops. So first one up, and actually they're going to be in the same line here, is going to be Onslaught. So ongoing, double your other ongoing effects at this location. He's got a couple of different uses here. Actually, he can be used with Wong, and he could also be used with Sarah and Zabu, which is more commonly what I've been trying to do lately. And then our last piece, core piece, is going to be Odin. So we're going to throw him in there. As you can see, on reveal, activate the on reveal abilities of your other cards. So when you're building a Wong combo deck, I feel that these are the core pieces. As you can see, it leaves only 4 other slots. So now, from this point, you kind of got to determine what type of combo deck do you want to build. Do you want to build a double combo, single combo, or what? So starting with double combo, what I mean by double combo is having 2 different cards that you can use in combination with Wong. Oh, actually, I did forget 1 core piece. And, of course, that's Mystique. Mystique, of course, copying Wong is huge. So, as you can see, actually, it's only 3 spots. So, this is the main core that I'm typically building my Wong combo decks around. So now, as I was saying, if you're going for a double combo deck, 2 cards that you can use to combo with Wong. Typically, these are all going to be on reveal. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. So, we're going to be looking at only the on reveal cards. Now, you've got 2 ways you can go. You can go for the combos that give you a bunch of power, or the combos that take away a bunch of power from your opponent. So, let's say you're going to go with the latter there. You're going with the ones that taking away power from your opponent. And this is a double combo version. You're going Hazmat, of course, because of her effect there. So, on reveal, afflict all other cards with -1 power. Kind of makes sense. And then we do have another 2-drop here, and I think if y'all have seen Hazmat, you know who it's going to be. I've just got to find him here. I'm having a little bit of trouble. Oh, that's because he is not a non-reveal. He is a 2-drop, though, and he is Luke Cage. So he is, of course, going to protect our cards there. And then, since this is a double combo deck, so 2 different pieces that can actually work with Wong, and we're trying to take power away from our opponent, we're going with Gambit. So as you can see, this is very much a Wong, I call it a Wong no power deck because we're trying to eliminate our opponent's power. And the pieces to do that are Hazmat or Gambit. And this is what I would call a double combo because you have 2 different cards that you can use to pull off these combos. Now, let's say you want to go with a combo that gives you all the power, right? So we're taking out those last 3 pieces. We're taking out Luke Cage, Hazmat, and Gambit. So we want power. Now we're still looking at doubles, so we're still talking 2 different pieces, and they're both going to be on reveal, of course, and they're actually going to be a 3 and a 4 cost. So here, if we're going to go with trying to add power, Ironheart, great. Perfect for this deck because you're trying to add power and you've got pieces here to combo with. And then the other one, since this is still a double combo deck, is Shuri. So you toss Shuri in there and you are in great shape. Now typically what I like to do in addition to these cards is add a 0 cost card, either Wasp or Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket has more power, but if you're hitting your combos, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to throw Wasp in there for now. So this is what I call a Wong power combo deck because you're trying to add power, obviously through Ironheart, through Shuri. You're trying to buff your side of the board more than they can do on theirs. And those are what I call double combos because they've got 2 different cards to play with. So the next part here is kind of those single combos. Now, it's basically the same as the doubles, but you're taking away one of those pieces. So my favorite one to play is actually a Wong power combo where we take out Ironheart, and there's a really easy inclusion here, and it is Chavez. And the reason we do that is because we want a little bit more consistent draw. We know turn 6 we're drawing Chavez, but we are more likely to draw all the other pieces that we need. If Yondu comes down, 9 out of 10 times it's hitting Chavez, it's thinning our deck, and that feels really good because you are that much closer to hitting those combos. So this is what I would call, a single combo Wong power deck. Obviously, you are building this around Wong, and you have to hit Shuri. Of course, you can also do it the other way. You can go with the Ironheart version of it, and you're taking Shuri out, and you're just trying to buff everything else with Ironheart. Conversely, you can do the opposite. You can go with the no power version where you're trying to take away your opponent's power but still keeping it a single combo deck, and in this case we would go Gambit. And with Gambit you kind of have some options because you're destroying their cards, so you can kind of fill that with whatever else you like. So in this case, looking at our deck, if we're building a single combo Gambit, built around Gambit, maybe we want something that we can discard a bunch of times, or maybe when we discard it from our hand it comes down, and in that case something like a Wolverine would probably feel pretty good if we could find him. There he is. So he would be a nice inclusion in this. Now if we're going single combo and we want to go with Hazmat, the inclusions pick themselves, right? We have to go Hazmat, not Beast. We have to go Hazmat, and we have to go Luke Cage, as he will protect our other cards. So you've kind of got the double versions, the single versions. The single versions seem to be more consistent. They have a lot more capacity to go absolutely nuts and have huge outcomes with them. The double, obviously, it's a little bit more flexible, but I've found that it's harder to actually draw all the combo pieces, which is why I prefer playing the single versions that include Chavez in there. All right. So we've talked about double combos. We've talked about single combos. Let's talk about the optimal play lines. Since these decks are typically the same, I'm just going to switch over to the one that I've been playing most recently, which is actually right here. As you can see, I call it Wong Power. So this is the deck that I'm using. All the cards that I said, and I like to go with the Shuri side. I like to buff one card, typically Yellow Jacket, as much as I can. So now talking about optimal play lines are here. So we know Chavez is being drawn on turn 6. A couple of important cards that we want to hit early if possible. Magic, Sarah. Those are our big ones. We've got to get those down. They will enable us to go crazy later. So, like I said, turn 1, typically you've got nothing to play. Turn 2, if you've got Zabu, great. Toss him down there. You're feeling pretty good. You've got a discount on Wong. Turn 3, I like to go Psylocke. And the reason we do that is because we will have one extra energy on turn 4, allowing us to play one of our turn 5s. Ideally, you get Sarah down. And if you can get her down on the Zabu lane, even better. So turn 4, Sarah comes down. You're getting discounts everywhere. Discounts from Zabu, discounts from Sarah, and you're feeling pretty good. Turn 5, you still need to extend the game. So ideally, you have Magic, right? If you don't have Magic, you've got to play something else. But we're talking about the most optimal line here. So turn 5 then is you're playing Magic. You do have one extra left over, but you don't have anything to play. So you're playing Magic, and ideally you're playing that on a separate lane. Maybe you're playing that on the lane that you played the Psylocke, but on turn 6 you want to get Onslaught down. Getting Onslaught down on the Sarah and Zabu line is huge. Everything in your hand basically becomes 1, except for your Odin or your Chavez. Those are both going to be 4s, and you're going to have 7 power, so you're still going to be able to go crazy. So then turn 7, if you've got everything down, everything laid out, so turn 2 was Zabu, turn 3 was Psylocke, turn 4 was Sarah on the Zabu line, turn 5 was Magic on the Psylocke line, turn 6 was Onslaught on the Sarah and Zabu, giving you, hella discounts. And then turn 7, you're free to go Wong into Mystique, into Shuri, into Odin, into Yellow Jacket for just an absolutely insane dropping of power. That is by far the most optimal line. Now, as we can see, we've got other cards in here. Wave. Maybe we don't hit Psylocke on 2. Getting Wave down on 3 and still being able to play Sarah or Magic on 4 is huge, right? You want to get those down as quickly as possible. Sarah is great. Just because of the discounts. So that is your most optimal line. You've got, like I said, the options for Wave to kind of get them out early if you can, or if you don't hit Psylocke. I prefer going with Psylocke just because it feels a little bit better. Your opponent's not going to play something big, but that ideally is the most optimal line of getting the power down. It's typically the same when you're playing with maybe you're playing the the Ironheart variant. It's the same thing, right? Obviously, we would have something instead of Yellow Jacket here. Maybe we'd have something with a little bit more power. Maybe we'd have, a 1-drop, something like that. But the same thing kind of takes effect. You still want to play Zabu on 2, Psylocke on 3 to get one of these out, 4 to get the other one out, and then 5 to get Onslaught. 6, you're drawing Chavez. 6 is kind of like a flex spot there. If you can play your Chavez freely, great. If not, whatever. Ideally, you've gotten everything else down early. And then 7, you're dropping everything for that massive power. Now, if we're going to go with the other version, right, we're going to go with the no power version. Of course, things change a little bit there, but honestly, not too much. Luke Cage, and then we got to throw Hazmat back in there, right? So, ideally here, still, you're going 2, you're getting Luke Cage down, or Zabu. You want to do one or the other. 3, you're still going Psylocke. 4, you're still going Magic, Sarah, if you can. 5, you're going the other one to extend. 6 is Onslaught on Sarah for those discounts. If you can fit Zabu in there as well, ideally that's what you're doing, and then you are comboing those off of Wong, right? Then that last turn 7, you're going Wong, Mystique, Hazmat, Odin, and just absolutely obliterating their board. Now, when you go to those turn 7s, typically you're drawing almost every single card in your deck. If they Yondu away your Chavez, you pretty much, I think you're leaving maybe 1 card in your deck, so you're far more likely to hit this combo. Now, let's say you don't. Let's say you don't hit Odin. You could still let's say you get to the point where you're able to get Sarah's down, but Odin is not in sight. you can still go Onslaught on top of, and then play Wong, Mystique, and Hazmat on top of the Onslaught, and you've still got that option. You don't get the other procs with Odin, but you're still able to do insane things with these combos. So those are some of my favorite combos. I have a ton of fun playing them. I'm actually going to put out a video tomorrow of a bunch of Wong highlights, so be on the lookout for that. It'll have both. It'll have me, going off with Hazmat, going off with Gambit, and using both of the Shuri and the Ironheart combos as well. So that'll be coming out tomorrow, but I hope y'all at least got a little bit of something out of this. This is how I build my combo decks. They're a ton of fun, so I totally say give them a shot if you've got these cards. It isn't too expensive, I think. Obviously, a couple of these cards are on the more expensive side, but overall, it's a fairly cheap deck. So don't be afraid to give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. I will be looking for comments down below, but until next time, remember, have some fun.